Deep in the forest, where the pine trees grow, by the glassy waters where the cool winds blow, stood a quiet monastery, ancient and grey, where the monks would sit and meditate all day. But a young newcomer couldn't find his peace. He prayed for the chatter in his mind to cease. Every rustling leaf, every shifting feet, every bird in the sky made his anger heat. How can I focus? How can I find the light when the whole wide world wants to disrupt my quiet? But the master asked with a knowing smile, "Do you know what's been testing you all this while? Is it the world outside that makes you break, or the storm inside that you choose to make?" So the young monk walked to the water's edge, left the noisy halls and the crowded ledge. He saw a little wooden boat tied to the pier, and he thought, "Out there, no one can get near." He rowed to the middle where the lake was deep, where the water lay still, like a world asleep. He dropped his anchor, he closed his eyes underneath the vast and silent skies, and for 2 whole days the peace was real, a quiet joy he could finally feel. But on the 3rd day, floating in the blue, a sudden splashing sound broke through. The boat began to rock, the water began to shake, and the deepest anger in his chest did wake. He kept his eyes closed, but his fists grew tight. He felt his ego rising up to fight. Even out here, in the middle of the deep, someone has to ruin the peace I keep. He opened up his eyes with a fiery glare, ready to shout and scream right there. A second wooden boat was coming in fast. He yelled, "Steer away!" but the warning passed. The wood met wood with a heavy thud, and the anger in his veins was a boiling flood. "Who are you?" he screamed. "Are you blind and deaf to hit my boat when there's the whole lake left?" But the master's words echoed in his mind as he stood up straight, trying to find the careless fool who had ruined his day, the inconsiderate soul who had crossed his way. He looked over the edge, ready to fight, but the words in his throat vanished from sight. There was no captain, no oars in place, no laughing prankster, no human face. The boat was empty, drifting on the breeze, carried by the wind, floating with ease. Just a hollow piece of wood on the lake, with no malice or intention to make. And right then and there, the anger was gone, like the morning mist in the rising dawn. He started to chuckle, then he laughed out loud, with a mind as clear as a drifting cloud. It was never the boat, and it's never been them. It's the story I write that I choose to condemn. When the world bumps into me and makes me mad, it's just an empty boat, and it's not so bad. He rowed back to shore with a brand new sight, sat back in the hall in the fading light. The birds still chirped and the branches creaked, but he sat in the silence that he once had seeked. Because the boats will drift and the boats will collide, but the only peace that matters is the one inside. Yes, the only peace that matters is the one inside.